but I'm going to challenge you to embrace it. I'm going to challenge you to really think about the fact that if you jump the stage, most people go straight into the hustle and they try to get clients presenting a service, a product, or an offer that does not fit the market's needs. And so they get a bunch of rejection and a bunch of no's, and then they get discouraged and they lose momentum because they didn't get a chance to talk to people beforehand to really ask, right? That's why one of the books in this section is called Ask by Ryan Levesque. You need to know what people are willing to pay for.
Olivia says, "Hi guys, I'm struggling with setting priorities. I have goals relatively fleshed out, but there are so many places to begin. What would you suggest are the top 3? I don't post consistently right now and have a blog, Instagram, and Facebook. Do I work on my freebie, lead capture, blog posts, podcasts, or creating my course? Is there something else I'm not considering? What is the priority or focus first? Help." Well, you are a member of TBL, obviously, because you asked a question in TBL. And so far as I understand, Kim has a success path. I think for me, one of the biggest things that I can do to start is to actually have some conversations with people that are potentially in my market. So I don't know if you've done that or not, but I would have at least 10 people that you have meaningful conversations with and ask them about the challenges that they experience with whatever solution is you're trying to provide. I don't even know what your business is. I don't think you indicated as such. But if you haven't done that already, I think that'll really dictate what people are needing in your space, which will help you. Like I would say, yeah, let's go create a lead magnet so we can capture emails. But if we don't know who your audience is or what they really need or what their challenges are, I think your content that you're putting out is not going to be relevant for what they're looking for. But also creating a lead magnet, you're just going to throw out a lot of lead magnets that really don't resonate with anybody because you haven't had those conversations to find out what their challenges and struggles are for what it is you're trying to help them provide a solution for. So if you haven't done that already, I think that's going to give you a load of clarity as far as what's next. Now, I'll let Kim take the mechanics of what that would look like beyond that, because I feel like she can speak to that a little bit more articulated as far as what is in TBL specifically.
All right. So you're in the validation stage, Olivia, based on what you told us. And so I want to pull up the validation stage real quick here. So you have a list of ideas. I totally, and I love that you're asking this because everyone's business is different and everyone's coming into this membership at a different place, which is why we have a success path, but also the ability for you to ask these type of questions because we want to help you kind of get there. So of course, the priority here is validating your business idea. Okay, like Chris mentioned, there is nothing else that's more important than figuring out what your business is going to be, selecting your business model, really outlining your product ideas loosely because you still don't know your people too well, right? Loosely identifying your product ideas and then going in and getting real world research. So we have specifically in this area all the different things that you need to focus on, which is just talking to your people. We even have like a script on what to say, what to ask, action steps to keep moving forward, pro tips. All of these things are really important. And I love that you picked up a copy of Pat Flynn's book, Will It Fly? Because I do think that once you have a basic business idea, you can move into the validation stage and really understand who your people are. I would not be creating lead magnets like Chris said. I would not be creating content because I don't know my people yet. And so I know that sometimes that's hard because this is not fun. It is not shiny. It is not exciting. And it's not energizing to go and kind of be a detective. But I'm going to challenge you to embrace it. I'm going to challenge you to really think about the fact that if you jump the stage, most people go straight into the hustle and they try to get clients presenting a service, a product, or an offer that does not fit the market's needs. And so they get a bunch of rejection and a bunch of no's, and then they get discouraged and they lose momentum because they didn't get a chance to talk to people beforehand to really ask, right? That's why one of the books in this section is called Ask by Ryan Levesque. You need to know what people are willing to pay for. And there's a section, right? It says nothing screams validation like cold hard cash. If you can get someone to actually pay you for something, you've officially validated your business idea. Not to the full extent, but you are now ready to move on to the next stage, if that makes sense. I would much rather see you guys hustle it out with quick strategies that would help you close your first client than to go through the entire hustle phase and still not have a single client. Like that should never happen. We want to at least validate your offer before you get to the hustle stage where you're then growing your email list and expanding your reach and expanding your audience and growing your social media and having all of these fun things that happen on the marketing side. I specifically see a problem with women on this. I don't know what it is, girls, but we just love doing marketing. I think it's great. I love marketing, for sure. Y'all, that's what I teach. But we forget like basic business principles, and then we end up going round and round and round and round and round in circles because we didn't do the deep business work that is required in the validation stage. And I'll tell you something. Chris and I, we go back to the validation stage every single time we have a new offer. Every single time, because we've learned through the process of running a business that it's not worth it. It's not worth it to go all the way through the marketing stage, create the sales page,
Oh,
build the email list, do all the promotional things, figure out the copy, and then spend months putting that together and then have crickets on our offer.
no, it's the worst.
It's the worst. It literally is the worst. So we've learned through banging our head against the
I
wall that every time we release something new, we have to validate it before we put any energy and effort. And now we're at the point where if we don't validate it, if we don't do our job right, our whole team ends up spending weeks and weeks and weeks of tons of work and energy to put a promotion together or put a launch together or put an offer together, and it flops. Not only is it insanely embarrassing as leaders, it's such wasted time and energy on our end. So
yeah.
we go back to
I have a
validation.
saying. I have a saying that I embrace as a mantra, and I want to share it with you. And if you'd like to embrace it, please feel free to steal this from me. You can't skip the steps. You can just do them faster.
Yep.
Right? So you get really good at going through the steps. And this is with a new product, this is with a new service, this is with a new company. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter your level of sophistication as an entrepreneur. If you've been doing it for 10 years, you're doing it for 10 days. You can't skip the steps, right?
I
So I
agree.
see a lot of people, they get excited about an idea and they're like, it's amazing, it's going to work. And then they just jump into the world and try to sell it. And the fact of the matter is that they do it, they don't have confidence behind it. When you go through the validation stage, when you get these meaningful insights, you're so confident, you're chomping at the bit because literally they're telling you exactly either what you thought or they're telling you what you didn't think. And you're like, oh my God, I'm so glad I caught this because I would have wasted so much time. Right.
Yeah.
So embrace the mantra of, look, I can't skip the steps. Nobody skips the steps. I need to go through. And there's a reason why Kim has outlined and spent crazy amounts of time on the success path is for that very reason. It's not just for newbies. It's for anybody, including ourselves, including people that have been doing this for a long time. And it's very tempting. And I do it myself, right? To just be like, oh my God, I'm going to have to spend all this time and this and that. I would rather do that and get it right than do all of that work, like Kim said, and then have to go back and be like, man, we really missed the 8 ball on that.
Yeah.
Specifically now with a team, because it's super embarrassing if we have a whole team of people that we're paying to do it and they're like, they'll start to lose confidence in our ability to know our market, right? So
Yeah.
it's tough. It can be a lonely journey. It can be a frustrating, way longer than you think. But I promise, if you do it right the first time and you don't skip the steps, the reward on the back end will be far more promising.
Okay. So here's the good news, Olivia. You can do this in less than 2 weeks. Like you can totally validate an offer very quickly if you hustle it out. So Chris is creating a brand new course, and one of the things that he made a priority last month was talking to like 15 people
A
about
lot.
like one-on-one. So he scheduled 15 meetings. He did it over 2 days, and he just asked them questions, hard-pressed questions about, what was their biggest challenge? What was their pain point? What would be the ideal solution to fix that pain point? And he got so much information within those couple of days that he was like, okay, I got it. Basically the marketing writes itself when you can not just be really specific with the people that you talk to, but you ask the right questions and you record their answers, because literally people will tell you what they want. I know that of course you have to be the entrepreneur and like innovate and deliver that in a format that makes sense, but you hear the same problem over and over again, you're going to be like, I got it. I understand exactly what to do and I know exactly how to help these people. So that's what I want you to put in perspective. This doesn't have to be this long, arduous process of like just suffering and bleeding through your eyes to gather information. Like I think we so over dramatize things in our head oftentimes, and then like it's the reason why there's like mental blocks around it. So I want you guys to like start getting nimble with the way that you approach the validation stage. For example, I don't think there's any need to spend more than 30 days in the validation stage. If you're working at least for full time on your business, if you're working part time, then it might take a little longer depending on your responsibilities right now and how much time you're dedicating to your business. But if you get real, like, your hustle hat on, you can totally validate your offer very, very quickly.